It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hello, I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. And this is the Eagle Community Television Forum. And of course, our guest this week, pretty familiar face, Coach Chris Brown of the Fort Hays State University Tigers. And Chris, the reason we brought you on today is because you were kind of a all-star, and now you're also a Hall of Famer. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I guess to become a Hall of Famer, you have to be a really good player.
To me, it's just getting older. You know, it's just an age thing. You know, as you get older, they start to put you in these little different areas and Hall of Fames and things like that. But, you know, really all I did was enjoy the game of football. Played it to the best of my ability. I listened to our coaches and what they, wanted me to do defensively. And, I enjoyed just doing it and having fun and played for my teammates. The accolades come, but really I gave all credit to my coaches and my teammates who I played with through the years. And if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't get any of these accolades.
Well, I noticed also CNN Division II Player of the Year, 1995. That's got to be a big thing too, being recognized nationally.
Yeah, that was a big one. And again, it still goes credit to all my teammates. I mean, I really just did my job and did what I was supposed to, and held myself accountable, and my teammates held me accountable, and I held them accountable as well. But it was just playing the game of football, the game that I love very much, and I just wanted to do my best for my teammates, and I just played ball.
And how many years did you play? You played for what team? Pitt State?
Yeah, I played for Pitt State 4 years. Started as the sixth game in, I started as a true freshman, and just kind of went from there. And I was scared to death, my freshman year, but just listening to Coach Broyles and Coach Adams and doing what they wanted me to do defensively, really helped me out and grow and mature as a player.
And you played defensive back. Is that what you played?
Yeah, I played free safety. Yep.
Free safety. So you had a lot of strong hits back there, didn't you?
I had a few. Probably feel them to this day. People think I lose my mind a little bit, but it's probably all the concussions I had. But no, just kidding. But I just try to do my best and make tackles and make sure they can score touchdowns.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because when I was a little kid in that Pee Wee League, I was defensive back too, and I got knocked out a lot of times waking up to the smelling salts.
Yeah, I got knocked out one time. It was my freshman year. Our national championship game, there's probably 8 minutes left in the game. I finally got cracked back by this receiver, and he did knock me out. Ended up in the wrong huddle. Don't really remember the flight home, getting to my dorm room or any of that stuff, but I had to rewatch the game to remember the game.
Wow. Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Liberal, Kansas.
Oh, so all the way across the state to go to Pitt.
Yeah, I've kind of been all over the state. Grew up in Liberal and played at Pitt, and I came back to Liberal and coached, and then ended up in Topeka at Washburn University, and now I'm back in Hays. Now,
did you know a lot about, because I know you're coach at Fort Hays now, did you know a lot about Fort Hays growing up, and then also as in your coaching years and playing years?
I did a little bit. We always played Hays High. When I was at Liberal, you always heard about Fort Hays State University. Never got recruited by Fort Hays. Pittsburgh State recruited me. Washburn University recruited me. Then all the junior colleges as well in the area. But I knew quite a bit about them, and it was kind of a school I would like to have gone to, but didn't get the recruiting part of it, or or get offered a scholarship. And Pitt and Washburn both offered me, so I ended up going to Pitt.
So you were actually recruited by Fort Hays, but it was in a different position. It was called coaching position.
Yeah, coaching. Yep, and I'll take that position any day. I really enjoy it here. I love the community. I love Curtis Hammock, who I work for, President Martin. And Dr. Hammond gave me the opportunity to come here and coach. And, it's a great community. It's a great place to be, and I love the support our community gives our Tiger program.
Well, I know that you also have kids that are growing up here in the school system here in Hays, and your wife, too, I believe she kind of helps out around Fort Hays a little bit, too.
Yeah, she does. And, she's kind of like a mom to all of our players, and, she works in the community. She works at Lincoln Elementary as well in the special ed program. And, I got 2 boys that go to Hays High and are doing very well and doing well in school, too. So, really love the community. My kids love the community. My wife loves the community, and we just love being a big part of it.
There's a lot of coaches that are former players. You hear that in the NFL and in college anymore. And what I wonder sometimes is, as a former player, you take some of those things that ways you wanted to be treated as a player, and kind of instill them into the players of today, and try to make their job and their lives a little easier.
Yeah, you do. We really respect our players and what they're doing. And I treat them just like they treat my own son. I don't know if that's good or bad for them, but I love my kids very much. I trust them, and I respect them. I listen to their opinions, and I give my opinions back to them, and just make sure that they make the right decisions. And that's the same thing we try to do with these kids that we're bringing in recruiting. Figure out where they're from, what they're doing, what type of kid they are, what kind of structure that they need. And you know, a lot of it's just about loving them and caring for them and showing that you know that you're there for them and that you got your back. And you know, our kids trust us very much, and we trust them. And you know, we got a great relationship with them, and you know, they do everything we ask them to possibly do.
How do you learn about players that are out there that you could possibly get to come to Fort Hays? Do you have people that are scouting that for you? Have people that may work for Fort Hays or don't work for Fort Hays? How does that all work?
You know, a lot of it just comes down to your areas and where you want to recruit, and talking to the high school football coaches, you know, is really where we get, you know, most of our feedback for recruits. And you know, it's just building relationships with those coaches. You know, it took me a while to build the relationship back up here in western Kansas, and now we do have that. We got coaches in Colorado, coaches in Nebraska, coaches in Oklahoma, you know, in the Kansas City, Kansas side, and the Missouri side as well. But it's, to me, it's just building relationships with those coaches and letting them understand what you're looking for, what your needs are, and you know, they usually help you out quite a bit because they want to get their kids out, you know, playing college football, and that's how we do it. There's recruiting services as well, but there's so many out there anymore. You just, you know, you don't really look at those too much anymore. It's more by word of mouth from the coach, and you know, also you have boosters that'll give you calls on kids too, that we really look into those kids as well.
You know, that's step one. Then I guess step two would be getting past their parents and getting them to come to Fort Hays. And you have to talk to the parents too. So you have to, I guess, convince the kids. You also have to convince the parents too.
It is, you know, and it's, you know, with the way we run things and the way we do things, and listening, you know, a lot of times our players right now will talk to the recruits and their parents and sell our program too. And you know, it's just this building that relationship with the parents and the kids, and letting them know where you come from and where you stand, and you know, what you're going to do for their kid, and what you expect out of their kid, and you know, how your programs run and how you do things. You know, you get to sell every aspect of it, and you know, hopefully when it comes to that signing day, that they trust in you and trust in what you're doing, and know that you're going to take care of their kid and make sure he gets a degree and, you know, becomes a great football player. But you know, the main thing we talk about is, you know, making sure that they get to their degree.
Is there a certain question that a lot of the players coming to Hays will ask you, like, you have certain degree programs, do you have certain facilities? Do they ask you a lot of those kind of questions?
Yeah, they do. And now there's so many different technology things that, you know, when you go out recruiting at these high schools, you know, we use our iPads, and we got tons of pictures of the university, and you know, videos of our kids saying different things about our program that, you know, we're able to show them, you know, right there, you know, on their campus. And you know, when they see those and understand what we're doing, you know, it's pretty easy for us to get those kids on a visit to see what we're really about.
So a high-tech way to do it. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Compared to probably the old days.
Old days, it was tough. You just had pamphlets and handed things out, and hopefully the kids believed you, and they would come on visits. But now with technology, it really makes it nice.
Well, very good. I like learning a little bit more about you here, and learning about your old playing days. But what we're going to do next is going to talk about the football program in particular. So we're getting ready for that. Are you ready for it?
Sounds great.
Okay, second half of the show coming back with Chris Brown. The show today, The Forum, brought to you by Hays Med.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
Welcome back to the Eagle Communications Forum. I'm Mike Kerner, in for Gary Shorman this week. The forum brought to you by Hays Med. And our guest this week is Chris Brown, Fort Hays State University head football coach. Now, Chris, you came in to Fort Hays State University as an assistant coach and then was elevated to head coach, right?
No, I started out as the head coach.
Did?
I was at Washburn University as a defensive coordinator.
That's where I got confused.
And then, you know, this job opened up, and, you know, I felt like I was ready and prepared to become a head coach. Had a lot of sit-down talks with, you know, Craig Shurg, the head coach at Washburn University right now, to say, are you sure I'm ready? Do you think I can do this? And got a hold of Curtis and Dr. Hammond, and, you know, they brought me out for an interview, and, you know, it happened. And I'm very, very glad to be here.
You had a chance to look at the facilities. I know the facilities were good, but they're getting better all the time.
Every time, you know, every day you see something a little bit different. You know, the new parking lot going in is going to be a tremendous, you know, benefit for us, and those tailgating too. And you know, the indoor facility is amazing. I mean, not just for football, but all sports. You know, baseball uses it, softball, track. I mean, every sport you can think possible is in there constantly, and it gets used quite a bit. And you know, it really helps each team perform at a higher level, just being able to be indoors and not to fight the weather and all the different, things that you have to go through. But it's a tremendous facility.
I would bet so. I bet it's also a good selling tool too when you've got recruits out there looking.
It is. There's not a lot of schools in our conference. Missouri Western has one. Where the Kansas City Chiefs built theirs, and we have ours as well. And Pitt has theirs, and we're one of those 3 schools that have one. And kids like to see those things, and I try to tell them we don't use it that much. We use it more in the spring than we do in the fall because you got to play in the elements anyway, so you might as well get used to those elements. But if it's raining or lightning or the wind's terrible, we'll go indoors and use it.
Now, at this point, you really haven't had a chance to have much interaction with your players. It's kind of forbidden by the rules. I think you guys wish you could, but it's forbidden by the rules. So how does that all work?
It's tough, because once you have finals week, and the week before finals they call dead week, which you can't have any involvement with your players. They can come in and voluntarily lift, and then June 1st is the actual first day that you can have summer conditioning starting. And the only person that can have any communication with the players is your strength coach. And Coach Boucher, he does a great job with our guys, making sure that they're there. He kind of keeps me informed of everything that's going on, and tells me if they're doing 7-on-7 or not. And it's just communication between him and I. And it's really worked out for us so far. And our kids are doing a great job. Day one, when I first got here that first summer, we had 12 to 13 kids. And right now this summer we're at 60, and by the end of next week we should have about 70 kids here, lifting and preparing themselves for the season.
I would bet that you and the conditioning coach have to really be on the same page. He has to know what you want, you have to know what he's doing so that he can kind of give you the information you need.
He does. The first year was kind of a lot of communication. He knows what I'm wanting now, and I've seen him train our guys, the last few years, so I trust in everything that he's doing. He does a great job of building explosion and make sure that our kids are in shape, once camp starts. So he pretty much knows the routine. He knows what he's doing. He knows more about that stuff than I do, and he just it's a great benefit just having him as part of our staff.
It's got to be a fine line too, what he does, because you don't want to overdo it because you don't want the injuries, but you don't want to underdo it either.
Right, and he's got enough education in those areas that he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's got a good timeline of how things should work, and it's tremendous what he does with our kids.
When is it that you can have now contact with the players?
August 10th will be report day.
Wow.
And when they show up that day, basically it's just a bunch of NCAA paperwork, and then August 11th will start. So no communication for those 3 months, it's tough.
Yeah, I would think so, and especially the new players you have coming on board to try to learn the system a little bit.
It is, and that's where your older guys, your veterans, have to, when those kids get here on campus, have to teach those young men, our systems and what we're doing offensively and defensively, and that's where you got to have great leadership. And I feel like we had that with this team. It's been a progress since I've first got here, but our kids understand now. If we want to be good, it might be the guy behind you that's playing next. So you got to make sure that he's ready to go.
Do you have any good players? Well, good players, but do you have any really outstanding players that you have coming on board this year that are new to Hayes?
I feel like our freshman class was a very, very good class coming in, this recruiting class. Don't know if they'll play right away. I feel like probably 90% of these kids will probably redshirt. And that's what we try to do with all of our freshmen coming in is redshirt them, get them a year underneath their belts, learning our system, getting stronger, understanding what we're doing, offensively and defensively, and just how the whole thing works, because it's a big transition from high school to college, and we want to make that transition easy for them. So I think, redshirting them helps out, but there might be a few in there that have to step in and play, but right now I think all of our veterans are going to be the guys that step in and do it.
I would think that that's a little strike to some of them's ego that they've got a red shirt and sit out because they're so used to playing football every year and they really love that and they want to be out there.
It is, and a lot of them might have started as freshmen in high school, and now they were the guy, but now when they get to college, they're just another one of the guys, and they got to earn their keep and, earn getting playing time as well and show that they can play at this level. And it does kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit, but we get them through. We have a lot of communication with them and talk to them quite a bit about the things going on and what we're trying to do to them, so that they feel good about themselves and feel positive about themselves as well. And it's just communication, letting them know where they stand and what you're trying to get done with them.
I know student athletes, so you're also not only athletes, but you're students too, and you probably have a lot of people that are out there helping them as students too, and getting them up and helping them with their grades and staying on track that way as well.
It is, Dixie Ballman's our compliance, and she's in charge of all academics, compliance, and making sure we're doing everything the way we're supposed to be doing them. And she has a few helpers over there as well. Ashley Parrott helps her out, over in the study hall area, and they do a good job of keeping those kids on track. But we do study halls as well with some of our guys too. Some guys need more study hall hours than others, and we keep track of that by doing grade checks and making sure they're taking the right classes. And you know, it's just staying on top of it because you want to keep them on progress to graduate and just not taking classes to take classes. And, you know, it takes a lot of work, but, you know, I love doing it and I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's another promise you probably have made to their parents, that you're going to help them out all the way and get their degree.
It is, you know, we're going to give them, you know, the plan and then a way we're going to attack everything and how we're going to get you through these next 4.5, 5 years of graduating and playing football. And, you know, they got to follow that plan. And, you know, we try to keep them on task and try to keep them going, but, you know, some of it comes on them as well. And, you know, those are the things that we have to teach them. You know, life is not easy and it's hard, and you got to have planning and making sure you're doing the things that you need to do to be successful.
Well, you had a great record last year. It keeps improving every year. You went to a bowl game last year. And outlook for this year, great schedule again this year, or is it going to be a tougher schedule?
It's going to be the same. The only thing they've done differently is, you know, they took our 2 last games against Missouri Southern and Central Missouri and moved them to the top of the schedule. So those will be our first 2 games, and it's just our normal schedule after that. I feel pretty good about it. I feel good about our kids. I mean, you got to play those teams sometime in the year anyway, so it really doesn't matter when you play them. You just, you know, you got to play your best every single week. There is no gimmies in this league, and you know, our kids got to be prepared each week to go out and perform at a high level and, you know, compete each week and play play their best each week. And I know if we can do those things, we'll have another good season.
I know the first game of the season's a night game. I believe it's on a Thursday night. Then the rest of the way through, you're doing afternoon games, day games. Does that pose any kind of issues?
It's just more travel than anything else. You know, we like to have a few more night games, but, you know, if we go to Northeastern Oklahoma, you know, which is 6.5 hours, 7-hour drive. If we play that at night, you know, we're not getting back to 4 or 5 in the morning, so you just kind of wasted a whole day of preparing for that next year. So you try to play a day game, so you get, you know, home around 12, 1 o'clock, so you get home, get to bed, and then get ready to work the next morning. Just, you know, travel has a big part of, you know, it has a big part of when you schedule your games. And, you know, if we can get those games later, like if we play Northeastern later in the season, it'd be a day game anyway. But since they're early in the season, you know, we went ahead and made it a day game.
Well, good luck this year. You guys have a great team, and we're looking forward to watching you guys this year. And hopefully we have great attendance at all the games out there this year.
We do, and I appreciate the support of this community. Each year we're getting a little bit better, and I think that's going to be the same this year as well, as long as our kids do the things that we think they can do. But the support from the community has been tremendous. Our administration is tremendous, and you know, our students have been tremendous as well. And I'm just really proud to be here and be part of this Tiger family. And I just hope things keep moving forward the way they are.
And hopefully everybody out there that's watching this gets a chance to go out and buy those season tickets this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Our guest is Coach Chris Brown, Fort Hays State University Tiger football program. Thank you for watching today. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman, and this is The Forum.
Hays Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hays Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hays Med, helping people be healthy.